Hi guys, welcome to ASM Education. This is the fifth chapter of the book, The McKinsey Way. I hope you've been following all the lectures that have happened so far. If not, just go and watch all the videos. It'll be really helpful. It'll broaden your horizon about consulting, and maybe it'll help you understand the book further. Okay, so let's begin with part 5, the chapter 5. So it talks about assembling a team, and specifically how to assemble a team at a consulting firm. So the author says that everything at the firm happens in teams. Anything that you will do at McKinsey will always happen in teams, from frontline work to client engagements, everything, and even the firm-wide level decision making is everything is in team. And also, so the smallest teams maybe of two people, you and your engagement manager, but the larger teams can be the larger teams are called meta teams. They are maybe multiple teams of 5, 6, 7 people working together on the same site at the same time. uh, McKinsey relies on teams because they are the best way to solve the problems that the firm's clients face. So generally, the firm's clients are very big companies, the Fortune 500 companies. The complexity of the problems that these companies face makes it impossible for one person to solve them, and even if they solve them, maybe it might not be to the highest of standards. So if you face complex problems in your business, you should probably put together a team to help them solve them too. So this is a tip for any of the budding businessmen who are watching this. If you face a complex problem in your business, put together a team to help solve it. The firm has developed a number of strategies for putting together and maintaining high performance teams. Okay, so now let's just talk about the first thing that the author talks about. He talks about getting the mix right. He says that you can't just throw four random people at a problem and expect them to solve it. Think about what sort of skills and personalities will work best for your project. Then choose your teammates carefully. So, for example, if it's a finance problem, you cannot have all engineers who are consultants. If it's a engineering problem, you cannot have all CAs in the team. So you have to strike that balance. Okay, so McKinsey benefits from a global pool of talented, intelligent individuals whose strengths and weaknesses the firm tracks closely. So when you join the firm, just remember that the firm will track everything you do, every activity that you do. It will be noted by someone somewhere. EMs and EDs must learn the art of team selection. So the McKinseyites subscribe to one of the two theories of team selection. First theory states that an intellectual horsepower is everything. So that is, you take an intelligent guy and he will do everything. You don't have to worry about anything else. The second theory says that what really matters is specific experience and skill. Intelligence is a given within the firm, and every McKinsey consultant is smart, or else he wouldn't have been there. Neither of these theories is completely correct, but neither of them is completely wrong either. Proper team selection varies from problem to problem and client to client. Some problems will yield only to large amounts of analytical firepower. If you have mountains of complex data that you need to decipher, you want so this is an example. If you have complex data, then you will need a lot of number crunchers. And maybe if you're managing a big reorganization in which sensitive decision making has to be done, maybe you will find someone who's got good soft skills and an experience in implementing change. Team selection lesson emerges from the McKinsey team assignment process. So another team selection lesson that emerges from the McKinsey team assignment process is when an engagement begins, the EM and ED pick their associates from the pool of available resources. So there's a pool of available resources, and the EM and ED pick up their associates. These associates, a manager of associate development or the office manager, he looks after these associates. He shortlists each associate's experiences and rates them on different parameters. An EM may use these parameters, but he should not take his decision only based on these. Okay, he should try and speak to the potential team members first. He should try to evaluate them. Maybe that person has got lucky in the last project, maybe because he's the CEO's son, and maybe because he's the CEO's son, so the he's been given a good rating. Maybe he's a very good guy, but he's very aggressive and you will not be able to work with him in a team. So these are all these factors. So first you should go and speak to that guy. Then the author talks about a little team bonding goes a long way. It's a truism that a team will perform better and its members will have a better time if the team members get along well. If there's cooperation, if the team members understand and respect each other, then the team will perform well, it'll perform as a whole. As a team leader, the question for you is how much formal team bonding is enough? So the answer is that you do not need to have a lot of team bonding. A little team bonding goes a long way. As a team leader, you have as a team leader, you have far more important things to look after than the team morale. Yeah, but saying that, team morale is a very important. So as SEM, what is SEM, guys? Remember SEM is a senior engagement manager. He says that I'm not sure that team bonding is all that important. What's important is that a team works well together, and that will come or not over the course of a project. It's also important that individuals feel respected and that they feel that their ideas are respected. So then the author says that if a team is going to bond, it will mostly bond through work. A typical McKinsey team works for say 10 to 14 hours plus a day over the weekend at the office. So they work for 6 days, 10 to 14 hours together. That's plenty of time for team bonding. Also, if it's out of town study, maybe they'll have all the meals also together. So all in all, the author says be selective with team bonding activities. Try to get your team significant others. This will help them understand their teammates. Also respect your teammates time. That I personally feel, if you start respecting your teammates time, then it's fine. Then your team building is working. The best team dinners also, so a former associate has said that the best team dinners were at lunch, because they show that the EM knew the associates had lives. Okay, so now moving on to the next point, he says that take your team's temperature to maintain your morale. So take your team's temperature, that is, take an estimate of how your team is feeling. So maintaining your team's morale is an ongoing responsibility of the team leader. If you don't do it, your team will not perform well. Make sure you know how your team feels. In my time at McKinsey, I worked on two studies that didn't turn out well. After one of the studies, I was ready to move on to the next engagement, and after the other, I just wanted to leave the firm. That's what the author says. Now, if you ask him why the different reactions, he'll say it was team morale. So he said my bad EM managed by the mushroom method. Now, what is this mushroom method? He said he covered them with manure and keep them in the dark. The associates, the author, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know whether what they were doing was adding any value to the team or to the client. However, he says the good EM that he had always let them knew what was going on, and if he didn't know himself what was going on, that is also what he told to the team. At least there was this transparency and the team members feel valued. So the author just suggests a few things. He says take your team's temperature, talk to your teammates, make sure they are happy with what they are doing. If they are unhappy, take remedial action quickly. Then he says steer a steady course. If you change your mind all the time, your team will be confused and demoralized, and it'll happen very quickly. Also, he says let your teammates know why they're doing and what they're doing. People want to feel that what they are doing is adding value to the client. If not, then they might not want to do what they're doing. Also, as I said, treat your teammates with respect. Also, your respect doesn't mean polite. uh, I'm sorry, it doesn't just mean politeness. You have to be polite, but you have to remember that the teammates have different priorities. They have a life outside work. They have certain aspirations. Also, he says get to know your teammates as people. You should know how they are, who they are, what they like, what their family background is, what their goals are, all those things. Okay. And then he says when the going gets tough, take the Bill Clinton approach. So he says there will be times when it will be frustrating for them. Then there's not a lot you can do by telling them, ha, I feel your pain. Okay, guys, so that's more or less all about chapter 5, team building. I hope you all like this video. I hope it add some value to your day. I hope it made you understand how how teams work in a big organization like McKinsey, how the team selection process works. uh, okay, that's all for the day. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.